Well, to catch my students' attention, I make a lot of eye contact and the intonation of my voice and the volume.
Mhm.
For example, when I want them to be quiet, sometimes I speak like this, very low and very slow, and they're like, "What? What do I have to do?" And that helped me a lot. And yeah, well, the eye contact, my voice, intonation, and volume, and sometimes visual aids and body language, lots of body language, because I try to use the least I can the Spanish language. I don't want to use it. I think that they the English class is the only opportunity they have to actually be being exposed to the language, and I try to avoid using Spanish. So I use a lot of body language and gestures.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Thank you a
interesting.
lot.
Good morning, teacher. Good morning, good evening, teacher. My name is Gabriel,
Nice.
and these are my questions. The first one is, with WhatsApp, you generally having troubles or problems?
Hmm. Well, at the beginning, one of my problems was classroom management, um, the time organization.
Okay, and why is that? Why is the problems are in specific that topics?
Well, in classroom management, I think it was that I didn't have enough information on how to deal with certain situations. For example, I didn't know how to act or how to react when one student arrived late. Let's say that I didn't know how to react. Um, Sometimes I was thinking of, well, I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to be a comprehensive teacher, but then they abuse of that. So you need to have like a level, no? Be flexible, but show an authority. Like I don't know what book says that. Like yes, we are a team, but we as the teachers are the bosses. So let's keep in mind that yes, we are a team, we are working, but you, the teacher, are the boss. You manage the class and the group, you guide them. Okay. And I didn't know that. I had to investigate a lot about classroom management, and the practice helps you also a lot. I was doing once, I used the Stitch figure. Have you ever seen Lilo and Stitch movie?
Yeah,
And do you remember the part
Yes.
in which do you remember the part in which Lilo draws the Stitch and says, "This is your evil level." You
mhm,
know that? Well,
Yes.
I use that
yeah,
figure. I use that figure, and when, for example, the students weren't quiet, the students didn't pay attention, the students didn't participate, their evil level were increasing. And when it gets to the maximum, they had homework or they had point 0.5 less. So yeah, it is a good strategy to having them like, yes, okay, you have three opportunities, but there are consequences. It's just a suggestion. If it helps you, I hope so, you can use it. And about time
Okay, that's
organization is because, guys, I don't know if you have realized, but I talk a lot. I talk a lot. I speak a lot. And I don't even realize
problem.
um, that I use 30 minutes in the explanation or in the presentation step. So that was one of my problems. I set in my phone like the alarms, So, okay, it's time to go to the next activity. It's time to go to the next activity. And that helped me a lot too.
Okay, sounds like a good strategy. Maybe I could use it in the
Well,
future.
yeah, you should
Mm,
try it. You should try it. It's good, and I think all the students, well, the majority knows Lilo and Stitch movie, and they know how it works.
okay, okay. My next question
Sounds
is,
great.
what kind of homework did you leave to your students?
I don't leave homework. No, I don't leave homework. I used to do it, but I realized that they don't do it. You know, they don't do homework. So I don't know if I should leave homework. I don't know if I should, but honestly, it has worked for me that I don't leave homework. Everything is worked in class. And instead of homework, I work with projects. For example, let's say that my evaluation criteria is the 30% is the daily activities, the 50% is the exam, and the other 20% instead of homework are the projects.
Okay, okay. Well, in some cases, the teachers think that that doesn't leave homework. It's like a good idea because they think that the work class is the most important of all, and so that's understandable. My last question is, how do you apply your exams? How what kind of question do you put in the exam? If it's multiple selection questions or open questions or something like that.
Okay, well, I try to include many types of questions. What I use the most is true and false exercises, multiple choice, fill in the gaps, and sometimes open questions. And open questions, I use them with very simple content. For example, personal information or descriptions, because they know the structure to actually produce a complete sentence. And my exams are based on the skills rather than the content itself. I prefer to know how they are improving their skills rather than the content, because the content, well, I realize that if they answer, if they participate. But for example, I apply a text, a reading text, and multiple choice questions. And then I also set a listening exercise and a true false exercise. And for writing, maybe completing a format. So that is how I organize my written exam. And for speaking, for evaluating speaking, I try to having them exposing their projects. They do maybe a poster or a recipe, a creation, something like that, and they have to present it to the rest of the group. And I take and I consider that presentation to evaluate the speaking skill.
Okay, that was really good, and thank you so much,
Yes.
teacher. And we are next with my partner Eileen, and the last question.
Yes. Yeah. I got it. Well, in middle school, I evaluate that, well, first the pronunciation and the coherence of what they are saying. For example, if I say, can you tell me how old are you? And they say, yes, teacher, I'm fine. That's a problem in there. Okay. And vice versa. And the pronunciation, and I take into account that they actually use vocabulary seen in class. Okay. For example, let's say that we are checking the um, how to say goodbye and all that stuff, and I implement another word. For example, hi teacher, how are you? I am good, and I teach them I am fine. That's another question. You are increasing your vocabulary. That's something that I take into account. I don't evaluate fluency because they are all of them true beginners. And according to their level, I cannot evaluate that. I only focus on pronunciation and vocabulary. Oh my. Well, I don't even have tips. I need tips. But well, what I can share to you guys is that the stitch figure that helped me a lot. One of them. Second one, I use also happy faces and sad faces. When the guy finished the activity and the student did it good and fast and organized and clear, I don't know. I write them in their notebooks a happy face. A happy face means point to plus, so they get that motivation in their grade and in, well, yes, in written form. So happy faces and sad faces. And when you have, well, for example, if you have your student distracted, speaking of another stuff and make noise, everything like that, you can grade them in their notebooks as sad faces. And that means point to less. So it helped me too, yes. Setting rules since the very first time, since the very first day, setting rules. For example, permissions to go out of the classroom, I only allow 3 times, 3 people. And I actually did the bathroom pass. So I leave it in the desk and they take it. When I count the 3 people that I already went to the bathroom, I leave it in my bag. So I think that it's another classroom management tip that I can give you. And what else? What else? Hmm. Mhm. Well, have communication and monitor with your students all the time. When students are working, are maybe doing an exercise, writing or speaking in pairs or in teams, monitor, walk around the classroom, walk around the classroom and check, how are we doing? Are we good? Do you have questions? No? Okay. Guys, you have 5 minutes. Go ahead, work. Motivate them and monitor your activities. I think, yes, I could help you with that. Or the traffic light. Have you ever heard of that strategy? It's a good one too. No? Okay. It's a traffic light as you see them in the street with color green, yellow, and red. When the traffic light is with green, they can speak. They can talk to each other. When it's in yellow, it's like moderating speaking. Okay, moderating speaking. Maybe when they are working in teams or they are working in pairs. And when it's in red, it's the classroom has to be totally quiet. They have to pay attention because teacher is speaking. So that's another strategy that it's a good one, very common, but it helps.
Yes, one more question. And what is the most important aspect to evaluate? Not only in the student, and that is in the environment, in the classroom, and in the school in general.
What is the most important thing for you to observe?
Yes, or evaluate.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you have to you have to make service. You have to know the students, parents, and other teachers. Well, even authorities' opinions. You know, so that you can perceive the school and the environment from different perspectives. You can have many points of view. If you apply service to the students, you are going to see the school as the students do. If you apply the service or the interviews to teachers, you are going to see the school as a teacher does. So if you complement them, if you interview or apply service to the authorities, to parents, to the students, and to teachers, you have many information to complement them and to see the school how it is, to make your own idea on how is the school. So I would recommend you to apply service interviews to know the opinions from that different well, agents of education. Oh my, sometimes I don't even know the parents. Sometimes I don't even know who I'm working with because in afternoon shift, it's well, the students are in very difficult situations. Sometimes they don't even live with their parents. Sometimes they live alone or with an any other external family, and that is why I sometimes don't have the opportunity to know their parents. But in general, and for the few parents that I have had communication with, they care about their childs, and that's why um, I think that's why I have communication with those parents, because they care about their education and they want to know how the the students are in the school.
Okay, so just work.
Well, my students actually think. that I am always angry or mad at them because of my face expressions and because of the way I speak to them. And the very first class, I make emphasis on the respect because most of the time they make fun of their pronunciation or their physical appearance. And when I say, okay, when you get a native certification, then you can be here making fun of them and criticizing your classmates. You have the certification? No? Okay. So we all here learning. We all can make mistakes. And about the physical appearance, well, I try to tell them that we are none of us are perfect, and that is not a reason to, yes, to make fun of. But mm, there is a topic in English in second grade that is called daily problems, and I talk about this, the bullying, and you have no idea, guys. You have no idea on what kind of bullying they have suffered and how it impacts for their psychological development and their confidence. This is worrying, and I try to get close to them. For example, if I see a student crying, what's happening? Is everything okay? You can count on me. If you feel free to talk about it. I am not saying anything, but I'm going to listen to you. And it works. It works too.
Well, what kind of elements do you use to apply the students' knowledge, like movies, like songs, like yeah, that kind of stuff?
Well, my resources are PowerPoint presentations when I have the opportunity, videos, lots of flashcards, and slips. I don't know if you have heard that expression. No, they are slides of paper with different colors. And I, for example, um, I remember one topic that it was the describing different contexts, and I wrote in pieces of paper with different colors: ranch, beach, and city. And I gave them, for example, city in black, ranch in blue, and beach on green. And I gave them the characteristics in that specific color, and they go to paste it in the correct place. And after that, they read it. So yes, I think that videos, songs. I don't play movies because honestly, I don't know how to work with movies yet. I mean, a successful use of movies. I haven't had it, honestly. But videos, yes, listenings or songs, um, posters and flashcards, and the pieces of paper. Yeah, that's what I use.
Okay, teacher, thank you so
Sounds
much.
great.
Yes,
Yes, thank you. I think that is all.
that's it.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe.
I don't know if you want to ask me any other thing. Feel free.
Um,
Okay.
yes,
It was
maybe
a
so.
pleasure to have this short talk with you. Uh, don't give up. It's a hard profession, but it's really nice. I actually I love to being a teacher. You know, that feeling, that satisfaction of seeing a person learning, it's the best part of this. Don't give up, and you are just starting this process. Enjoy it. I know it can be boring and it might be hard, but don't demotivate yourself. All the opposite. Okay. And if you need any more help, any tips or suggestions, feel free to text me.
Thank you, teacher. We really
Yes.
appreciate.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes, no worries. No worries.
Yes, teacher. Thank you for your time. Your time.
Well,
Thank you a
no
lot,
worries.
teacher.
Anytime you need.
Be a nice night.
Okay.